couple things. One is our logo. What do you think of that? The 225th logo. Pretty neat, hey? There was a lot of hours and time put into that, and I want to give kudos to Maria LaRoche for all her energy into that. Can we give her a little bit of applause? The logo really pops, doesn't it? So the other thing I want you to notice is the website. What is it called? CheshireProud.com. That's what this is all about. It's about pride in our community. As you can see, look around us. Look at the people. Look at the history of this amazing town. We have a lot to be proud of, don't we? So our website is CheshireProud.com, and what you're going to see is we have a series of 12 events. This is one of them. We're building the website as I speak, and you'll be able to get more information about each of these events on the website. How about the Cheshire Quartet? What do you think of those guys? Kind of an appropriate name, wouldn't you think? It was great to have them, so thanks a lot, guys. Big thanks to the Historical Commission, all these historical artifacts and memorabilia you see here. Diane and Bob Hitter and Gus Martin and others. Thank you very much for that. Amazing things you see here. I didn't know they had wooden water pipe. I probably should have figured that out, but I've never seen one. So basically what happened is back in September, a small group of people got together informally and started talking about doing this. And we went to the select board and asked for their permission to organize some events. We brought together folks from the Historical Commission, Farm Commission, Cheshire Community Association, Community Action Team, Police and Fire Departments, and Garden Club and others. And this is kind of what this came to be, and it's really a grassroots effort. That's how things get done, you know, grassroots, and we appreciate everybody showing the support. I want to identify our sponsors. We do have a board there, but I want to highlight them. Adams Community Bank, as I think most of you know, is always very, very generous. And we really appreciate what they've done here. Mass Cultural Council has been great to us. We get funding from them for our block parties every year, so thank you to them. Those of you that know Pam and Ed St. John III, you know what they're about. They're all about community. And they were very generous and underwrote the booklet that each of you has. And again, this was put together by Barry Emery, and he did an amazing job. He is not dealing with 30 inches of snow. He's in Florida. So thank you to Barry, though. And we also had support from Greylock Credit Union and the Lions Club. In-kind donors, of course, St. Mary's is allowing us to use this space. Thank you, Father Matthew. Thank you, Michelle Francisconi, for all your help. We just pulled the cake out, and it has the logo on it. You all have to check it out. That came from the McCann Tech Culinary Arts Program. So thank you to them for that. The tablecloths were donated by Ladco. Price Chopper, Stop and Shop, and Dollar General also gave us some refreshments. So thank you to them. The other thing is we have, as they say in the business, merch. You know what that is? Merchandise. We have cheese boards, postcards. Did you see the postcards? Are they pretty slick? Those were images that Barry Emery had that we made into postcards. So that's another way to, you know, maintain the history of this amazing community. We have mason jar mugs. I heard that cocktails taste pretty good out of those. So for those above 21, think about that. Hats, t-shirts, grocery bags, stadium blankets, books. Thank you so much to Sandra Sloan. She is amazing and really took the lead on all that for us. The other thing I want to highlight is if you had any water today, that's Cheshire Water. Award-winning Cheshire Water. Best rural water in the state. How about that?
Whoa.
Congratulations to the water department and to our community, and one more thing to be proud of. To allow Carol Francisconi to say a few words from the select board, and also she's going to read a wonderful poem entitled, what's the name of the poem? Dear Old Cheshire. I should know that. So thank you very much, and we'll let Carol take it away.
I was born and raised here in Cheshire. I've lived here all my life. I started when I was first a baby. I lived on Depot Street, and I lived on Church Street. I lived on South Street, and I now, since I've been married, we've lived on Dean Street here in Cheshire. Cheshire has always been a place very, very close to my heart. I never even gave a thought of ever leaving the town of Cheshire. Even when my kids come home, even if they're not living around here, they still consider Cheshire their home. And I think that says a lot for our community in that people feel that they belong here, that they're loved here, and they're cared for here. I know if there's any problems with anyone in the community, there's always a lot of people in the community that are more than willing to help, and that's something we should all be very proud of. Chris Emerson, our town clerk, found this poem a while ago, and it's called Dear Old Cheshire. It was written by John Laffey, and it's very old, and you'll tell by the content of the poem. When you go over the Mohawk Trail, over the Berkshire Hills, go down through the Hoosick Valley, down by the Adams Mills. Follow the hollow to Maple Grove, wind over that steep harbor pass. It's a beautiful ride along that west mountainside down to that trail to Cheshire, Mass. There is no town on earth like that town of my birth. No matter where you ever roam, where the wildflowers grow and sand white as snow, and I'm proud it's my old home sweet home. I know every tree that grew up there with me, every stone I have hiked large and small. All the mischief was done, it was me or my chum, and sometimes I was blamed for it all. I have fished all the streams since I left in my dreams, and swam all the ponds there I know. I have listened to hear the old sounds that were dear, the sound of the cowbell and hoe. That cold furnace spring where the birds used to sing, we would meet there when the weather was hot. And from there we would stroll to the old swimming hole. It would swim whether school kept or not. That dark Dugway Hill, I often think of it still, where they told me wild bears roamed about. But I let them roam the dark nights I went home. I marched up the old cobble road. My pals of old times, they have scattered like dimes. I have met them on sea and on shore. Time and tide will not wait, and before it's too late, I'm going back to my old home once more. I'm going to go back to the Berkshire Hills, back over the Mohawk Trail, down through the Hoosick Valley where I carried my dad's dinner pail, over the rivers and through the woods where the willows droop over the shore, through Pumpkin Hook, over Scrabbletown Brook, back to my old home once more. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I'm glad I was invited to participate tonight. You know, this town is very special to me. Way back in 1972, my first time that I ran for office, and I was a 24-year-old kid at that time, and we came into Cheshire at 5:30 that morning because they were the last ones to count. And I was behind, I believe, by about 150 votes. Got killed, of course, in the city of Pittsfield because they didn't like us up North County too much back then. And came in here, and we get the total that comes through, and we win Cheshire by about 350 votes. And I believe at that time, Mabel Cox Mabel Cox was the town clerk, and there's a name the old timers will remember. And we went nuts in the place, and she said, "Let's be dignified here." There's no way in hell we were going to be dignified that night. But anyways, but it was a remembrance that I'll always carry with me. And I think I marched in more of the parades in the town of Cheshire over the years than I did in the city of North Adams, because I was always asked if I would come down. I was here for that 200th anniversary parade, marching with Jane Swift, and I think Dan Bosley was the state representative at the time. And let me tell you something, the town came out. There's always been a spirit in this community that's remarkable. And I think we hear a lot that the people make the community. Well, you know, you look around here, and Cheshire's the type of community we all want to come from. If there's a problem or anything, the community always comes together. But the most significant thing that I think that Cheshire has in all my travels over the years is that, and it was mentioned tonight, is that pride. And I hope that as we go forward, it's been some tough times around here over the past few years, but you know what? When the times get tougher, the tougher get going, and that's the way it should be in this town. And I wish you nothing but the best for the next 225 years. I don't think that Carol and I will be here for the 250th, maybe. But if we can be here, we'll be here. We'll have a bottle of wine at the same time. But so it was sent to me to ask the governor if he would do the proclamation. I said, no way is he going to do this whole thing, and they did it, which actually should be an honor to the community in itself. I will read it. Don't blame me if I get some of the words wrong and I don't understand what they are. It's not of old age, it's just that I've never heard them before. So, anyways, the proclamation from the governor's office. Whereas the petition of the pioneering settlers to incorporate a territory to be known as the town of Cheshire was granted by the General Court and enacted on March 14, 1793. And whereas it is customary to recognize and commemorate the anniversary of the founding of municipalities throughout the Commonwealth, noting in turn their contributions to the fabric and progression of the Bay State. And whereas the citizens of Cheshire have met annually at town meetings since 1793 to elect town officers and participate in democratic governance of their town. And whereas courageous contributions have been made by many settlers, patriots, from the town of Cheshire in the pursuit of freedom and security of our great nation. And whereas the great dairy farming and cheese making traditions of the community were called upon to create the famed Mammoth cheese, Cheshire cheese, in honor of Thomas Jefferson. And whereas the natural resources of the land were harnessed by its citizens, entrepreneurs, to create such local industries as glass works, lime companies, iron works, shoe factories, sand quarries, lumber mills, dairy farming, and recreational pursuits. And whereas the Citizens Planning Group has arranged for a year-long celebration of this historical milestone with activities, events, parades, ceremonies, music, and fireworks. And whereas we congratulate the town of Cheshire and its citizens on the 225th anniversary of the establishment of their independent municipal existence, and extend greetings as they gather to celebrate on this occasion. Now therefore I, Charles D. Baker, the only Republican will ever let in this town, is that true? I don't know. Governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, do hereby proclaim March 14th, 2018 to be, help me Ed with this, quasi-bicentennial, all right. Quasi-Q bicentennial anniversary of the town of Cheshire's incorporation, and urge all the citizens of the Commonwealth to take cognizance of this event and participate fittingly in its observance, given at the Executive Chamber in Boston this 14th day of March in the year 2018, and of the independence of the United States of America, the 241st. Signed by His Excellency Charles D. Baker and Lieutenant Governor Karen E. Polito. Congratulations. Now, because we're poor in the House of Representatives, and we're there to represent the people, and watch your money, we don't do as well as that. So we have much smaller, but it is a proclamation from the House, and you'll get one from Senator Hines too. The Commonwealth of Massachusetts, the House of Representatives. Be it hereby known to all that the Massachusetts House of Representatives offers its sincere congratulations to the town of Cheshire in recognition of the 225th anniversary of incorporation. The entire membership extends its very best wishes and expresses the hope for future good fortune and continuing success in all of their endeavors. Given this 10th day of March 2018 at the State House, Boston, Massachusetts, signed by Robert A. DeLeo, Speaker of the House, and John Barrett, State Representative, and congratulations to one of the best communities I've ever been in.
So I'd like to invite Ed St. John to talk a little bit about the painting in front of us here and the artist.
So I just want to say before I start, unfortunately, I don't have quite the history that Carol has here. I was adopted basically by the town of Cheshire, and when I was about 10 years old, came here, and it's been great ever since. And while Carol has been pretty prolific in terms of moving around, I moved 50 feet. So I live right next door to where I grew up. But in any event, I just wanted to also thank John and the entire crew for putting together both this event and everything else that's coming up in the future. But I'd like to say a few words about Len Stomsky. Len was an incredibly prolific and accomplished artist. For over 50 years, Len captured the beauty of not only Cheshire and its residents, but also of Berkshire County and beyond. Born in 1934, Len would go on to study at the Vespers George School of Art in Boston, and after pursuing a commercial art career, Len actually returned to the Berkshires to paint and teach art for both the Adams Cheshire School District as well as the Pittsfield Boys Club. Len's painting style, whether oil, watercolor, or acrylic, was impressionistic. He compared the act of painting to building a picture puzzle where the colors and the brushstrokes must be placed correctly for the composition to be successful. Aside from winning over 30 important awards, and perhaps most importantly, Len's work really captured the essence of life in Cheshire. And in no piece more touches our history than this depicting the Mammoth Cheshire cheese here in front of us. As an aside, we hear this story of the Cheshire cheese, and it's made its way really through popular culture as well. Growing up, I always liked the show The West Wing, and one of the episodes they had was Big Block of Cheese Day. I said, well, that came from Cheshire. So, we certainly have had our impact on certainly the nation at large. But as it was the dawn of the 19th century, we have today, and in the coming months, a reason to come together. Tonight, we kick off a great celebration that strengthens the fabric of our community, and just as Len captured the event that inspired generations across the country, let us serve to inspire future generations of our own. Thank you.
Len Stomsky was a great man. Thank you, Ed. So the final item on our agenda is a Senate, now I want to get this right. Is it proclamation or citation, Adam? Citation. Okay, this is a citation. We got it right in the agenda. Senator Adam Hines would like to present that to the town. Adam?
Happy birthday, everyone. This is great. I can't tell you how important it is that we do this together. We come together and really understand our history and where we're coming from. Although I was talking to Mr. Martin earlier, and I kind of revealed that he's actually not originally, his family isn't really from here. They didn't arrive until 1790, so they're a little late to the game. But it's amazing that we're able to track now 4 families that were here in the 1700s and track that lineage to folks that are still here today, many of you in this room, which is just amazing. So it speaks to the project that we have ongoing throughout this year. Hopefully we can identify even more people who have that connection. But I just want to say a word about the importance of what we're doing here today, which is looking out at all of you and seeing that we come together from time to time to celebrate our small towns, to celebrate who we are, what we represent together. It's special. And it also represents the fact that we are there for each other. I love that you emphasize that, Carol. You know, that when there's a time of need, we kind of lock elbows and stand together. And I think of my own town where when I was born, we had 6 dairy farms, and now we're down to 1. And just how we've kind of, things are shifting, and yet we work through it together. And understanding that heritage through events like this and being very deliberate and reminding ourselves what we've been and where we've come from is critical. And really, when you think of what was happening at the time of incorporation, there was a lot of creative, interesting work being done, and groups like us coming together for town meetings and being very revolutionary in our approach to working together. So remembering that and being cognizant of that and celebrating that is really important. So I too hope that I'm here at the next 225th anniversary. I think if anyone could pull that off, it's probably folks drinking Cheshire water all the time. My money is on Mrs. Campbell in the back, that you'll be the one who's here at the next 205th or 225th. It's great. You all know she's 106 years old. It blows my mind. It blows my mind. So I'll get on with my business here to presenting the State Senate official citation from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Be it known that the Massachusetts Senate hereby extends its congratulations to the town of Cheshire in recognition of the 225th anniversary of the town's incorporation. And be it further known that the Massachusetts Senate extends its best wishes for continued success, that this citation be duly signed by the President of the Senate and attested to and a copy thereof transmitted to the Clerk of the Senate, and it's signed by the Senate President and myself today. So thank you all, and keep up the good work.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Can we sing a song before we end tonight?
Well, yeah, I guess so. What would you like to sing?
My country sits a sweet, sweet land of liberty. Of thee I sing. And where my fathers died, land where my fathers died, from every mountainside, let freedom ring.
Okay, that wasn't as random as you may think. For somebody my age, it's something relatively new. That's called a flash mob. And this is the Hoosick Valley High School, some of the Hoosick Valley High School chorus. That stepped up and wanted to join the party. So thank you to them. Their director, Jonathan Crow, is here with them. And they've come to help us sing a few songs. So I think next we're planning on doing the Star Spangled Banner.
Yes, that's correct.
So take it away.
Thank you guys for standing. If we could stand, we're going to go ahead and sing the national anthem. If you'd like to sing, you're welcome to. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the light o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red flare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? much. If you